Wow, what a stunningly beautiful day. We're in Western Mid Wales, and here's John and Graham. If I shall I come to John and have a little natter? Disturb him packing his rucksack up. Hi John, how's things?
All right, thanks. Yes.
Where's the destination today?
Well, we're going to survey a Sub-Marilyn called Bryn Brith. It's 149 metres of drop, and we're sitting in the car park quite near possible coal here. There are a range of areas around here. It's quite complex where we have to explore to see where the real coal is, but the hill in question is over to your right. And it looks a shapy little hill.
It's a fine hill, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've got a lovely day. It's still. It's a little bit cold, but ideal day for surveying. So,
and we've discussed various options, haven't we? But we've all decided, because it's such a beautiful day, we're going to do the summits
we'll
first.
Go to the top today. There are three possible summits up there, so we've got to find the correct one. So we'll have to survey all three. Hopefully we can do it with a level and staff, but we may have to take data on more than one. But we'll see how it goes when we get up there.
Right, cheers John. I'll just go over to Graham. But it really is a fantastic hill. There it is in the background, look at it. It's brilliant. Here's Graham. So, any further comments, Graham?
Oh, you've caught me taking my clothes off. It's an absolutely cracking day. So I think we finally decided, haven't we, we're going to go up the hill first because it's such a nice day, and determine which of the three summits is the true summit, and then we'll start collecting data on that, and we'll get a height difference between the three. We'll see what time we've got left then when we come back down, but we should get some data on at least one of the coal positions, I would hope, before we leave.
Yeah. Well, cheers, Graham. Thank you.
Yeah.
We have to make another statement too, Mervyn. This is going to be a pathfinding day for us. That if you pan down, you'll see here on the ground the big new sandwich box.
and that is big, isn't it? Look how big that is.
If we open it up carefully, you will see a spanking new Viva GS15 with lots of air around it to justify the size of the box. And that air was very expensive.
That looks... and this is the first time out?
It's the first time out, yes.
Yeah,
it's not quite the first time out, it's the first time out...
the first time out is we're owners, yes.
But we've still got the 530?
We've got the 530 in the boot there, yes, which is working now on an external power supply because the internal boards are basically ruined. So it's limited life now for the old one, I'm afraid. So.
But the joy of that, whilst we've got it, you can use that as almost as a base station, can't you?
That's right, yes, we will do. That was the plan here originally, to set up a base station with a 530 and then measure the height difference with the other one from the top. But because of the complexity of the hill, now we see it, we may not be able to do that. So, but we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, well, cheers, John. Thanks for showing the... and its name again?
It's a Viva GS15 Professional.
It looks rather smart, doesn't it? Bagsy not carrying the new sandwich box.
We call it Cyril for
short. Cyril. Right, well, cheers both, thank you. So, here's the area where we are. Krug NM. And it really is rather beautiful. It's an area known as Ardog. And it's the continuation of the Cadair Idris range, and that is the western limit of the 2,000 footers up there. And rather beautiful. But that's one of the summits we're looking at, and that's a rather stunning shape. So I'll leave you with that view and no doubt take some photos on the way up. We just arrived on the summit area, and that could be the highest point of this particular hill. So this ridge is called Cefn-hir, I believe, and the current Marilyns position, which is directly behind John, is Bryn Brith. But it really is quite a spectacular morning. We did contemplate looking at the bwlch. There are two optional positions, and one of them has about 6 options alone because of various 240 metre contour islands in the area of the bwlch. But I decided to come up to the summit to enjoy the day because it's so good. And John is setting up the level to take readings between the 3 summits that are here, because there's an intermediary summit as well, which is behind John's head now. So, what do you think, Graham? Stunning day, isn't it?
Level up over there, it was too high. I think he's going to find it's too low here. But it's a cracking day, yeah, it really is.
He's looking at me at the moment. I'm in the way.
Have you panned round and showed the viewers the panorama really?
Well, it's
really superb, isn't it? It's
yeah, it's beautiful. I've got a potter over here, and there's a good suggestion. I'll do that and then get the two of you in view. So this is looking down onto the estuary, Mawddach estuary, and over towards the southern Rhine. Here's Bryn Brith in the background. Here's the intermediary summit coming into view. Looking past the W and the Arran. Got another view on the left. Here's Mawddach. Then coming around to where we are. Absolutely beautiful. Looking out towards Ireland, somewhere way off over there. There's the railway bridge that crosses into Barmouth. We're on top of Cadair Idris, otherwise known as
Bryn Brith to me.
Or a parrot in Kevin's ear.
Something like that. Yeah.
A parrot in Kevin's ear. Yeah. What have we been doing, John, since we've been up here?
This is the first peak that we've come to, and what we're trying to do is try to find the highest point, the summit around here. And on the horizon there were 2 other peaks which are contenders. So we started off by setting the tripod and the level up about 50 metres, 25 metres over there. And we set it so that it was exactly in line with the summit of this rock here. And then we looked over at those other 2 summits. And what we found was that the summit to the right there with a trig point in is about 2 to 3 metres lower. But over the other side there, the other summit, that's probably 10 centimetres plus higher. So very, very close. So what it means, we've got to measure the summit here because they're so close accurately, and go over there with a GPS and measure the summit subsequently. So at the moment we set up the GPS in a convenient position here. We know the height difference between the rock there and where the base of the GPS there, and now we're collecting about an hour's data. So we'll get a figure for the height.
And planning to do another hour on the other summit?
On the other summit, yeah.
Yeah, and presumably see what time we got left then, and
see whether we can go back to the coal. But this is taking up more time than perhaps we thought when we were at the bottom.
Yeah. Well, cheers, John. And it is quite an impressive piece of kit as well, isn't it?
Yep, and you even turned it on yourself.
It was very exciting.
The initiation, yeah.
And decorated it for Christmas.
Well, thank you very much, John. I'll just come over to Graham and see whether he's got any further comments. There's the GS15. Hi, Graham. So yeah, any other comments?
I think John's just about described it all. As he said, it is very close between the 2 summits, so we're going to have to go over there and collect data. And also, of course, it's a very complex col, so I think now we're almost resigned to the fact we're going to have to come back on another occasion and sort that out properly.
Well, cheers, Graham.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And yeah, I'll just pan around, give the viewers a little bit of the spectacular view. So thank you very much, both.
Thanks. Thank you.
And we've got a party of children with their instructors coming up behind. They've been very, very good, because we asked them just to be quiet for a few seconds when John and Graham said their piece. And you'll probably see them as I pan around. We've already had one party pass us, and their instructor that recognised John. They bumped into each other on the Clwydian Hills a few months ago.
Or the Marilyns, as people know them. It's a metre short of falling on that list, so if we can prove that there's a metre or more of drop, then it would enter that list.
Should we make a bigger cairn?
I was going to say, should we pass some rocks up?
Yeah. So that's all to do with the height that you gain in the relative sort of distance. Is that the idea?
Yeah, the list was put together by a guy called Alan Dawson, and his concept was that it was not the height of a hill that was important, but how much it rose above the surrounding countryside. So you measured that the height difference between the summit of the hill and the lowest point you go down to before you actually go up onto another hill, and that is called, depends what country you're in, it's either called the drop or the reascent or whatever. But it's the height difference between the col that joins you to the next highest hill and the summit. It's that distance.
Well, it certainly feels like a mountain, doesn't it, when you walk up from the bottom?
Yeah, I mean, when we parked at the bottom and you looked up and you saw the crags, I thought, hey, this is good. This looks really fantastic.
Anyway, I'll leave Graham explaining what a Marilyn is.
It could be, yeah.
And leave you with a view of the hills around Cadair Idris.
The highest point.
Been quite a stunning day, and we're looking down onto the Mawddach estuary, some of the Rhinogydd beyond. Footbridge leading over to Barmouth with the railway crossing as well. It's gone rather misty down there over the last half an hour or so. A very low sun today, and we're on top of Bryn Brith at the moment. This is the current position for the summit of the Sub-Marilyn, and it has two positions for the summit, a western and eastern top, and the eastern top is slightly higher by about 6 or 7 centimetres. And there's the GS15 set up on the highest point of Bryn Brith. But it's interesting when you optically look between the two. John and Graham said that we've all had a little look, and viewing one summit, this one, looking back. There's John looking back towards Cefn-hir. They're pretty close. We've all said which one we think is the higher. Who knows? It could be. Summit positional change for a Sub-Marilyn. Very exciting news. But we haven't been down to the bwlch yet, so it could become a new Marilyn. It may exceed its current 149 listed metres of drop. Could become 150, and if so, if Cefn-hir was higher than Bryn Brith, you may have a new Marilyn with a new summit position. Everybody's taking photos. Shall I come up to you, Graham?
Hi there, Merlin.
As long as I don't stumble over, I probably will. It's quite steep. There's rock and heather and yeah.
Pretty awful.
So
How's that?
if I come around, try
Got the sun in my eyes now.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say try to get the GPS in the background. But yeah. So what's been happening since we've come up?
Well, it's been quite interesting because we thought this was the higher top, didn't we? When we looked at it from over there.
Yeah.
But when we got over here, what appeared to be an embedded rock from over at the other summit turned out to be a cairn. And when we looked at took all the stones out of the little cairn and got to the ground, we then began to realise perhaps this was actually not higher than the first top we were on, but in fact probably lower. And I think we're guessing now that it could be 10 or 20 centimetres lower. GPS is going to tell us. But we then had a quick look round with the levelling staff, and you can see the point behind us, which is actually the highest point of the hill. And that's where we've set up. So we're now about 45 minutes in, got about another 15 minutes to go to collect an hour's worth of data, and then it'll be a way to process it.
Do you think we'll have time to look at one of the positions for possible bulk?
I don't know, let's see how long it takes us to get down off the hill, because I think you'd sussed out a route that meant we didn't have to go back over the summits, didn't you? Which would save us a bit of time, and that might mean we can get back to the car before it goes absolutely pitch black and get half an hour's worth of data just as a look-see. But we're going to have to come back and properly survey the other candidate coals anyway, so it's not going to stop us coming back, but it may give us a bit of a clue as to whether we've got a new Marilyn on our hands here, or whether it's likely still to be a Sub-Marilyn. So it'd be nice to get a bit of data at the coal.
Yeah. Well, cheers, Graham. I'll come over to John, because it was John that suggested a possible nighttime survey. John, maybe the first one ever for us.
He's putting words in his mouth now, Murphy.
Not quite as but if we got down in time and we were able to get to the outflow of that, set it up in the light, we could perhaps collect some data, but at those times 3 o'clock, we've still got 10-15 more minutes of data to collect there before we go down. And actually, though it's been a beautiful day today, it's starting to cool down, and the cloud is obviously condensing out, and we're getting some quite good cloud effects around on the mountains here, so it's going to be a nice but a cold evening, I think.
It's been a stunning day, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been absolutely fantastic, but very confusing. We've had different ideas of what's going to be higher during the day, and things haven't quite turned out as we thought. We thought this area would be higher. It turns out to be a cairn, and now the first place was higher. So, but we know exactly once we process the results when we get back.
It'll be very interesting again.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. So, do you think there may be a slight chance? You mentioned before, if we can get down to where the car is, one of the outflows is very close to where the car's parked, isn't it?
I mean, if it's set up, and there's a chance, yeah.
Yeah.
But we've got to come back anyway and look at all the cairns, so it's going to be a full day's work down to try and find the coal. It has been almost a full day's work this time of year up here, trying to find the summit and measure it.
Yeah. Well, any last comments, or?
No, it's a good day, really good day. It's a little while since we all been out together, but it's been fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, well, cheers, John.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you. I'll just pan around. And the cloud formations have been mentioned, and the banks of cloud are rolling in from the coast. There's just one disappearing out of view now, and that was quite large 20 odd minutes ago. You can see how low the sun is, and it is pretty stunning up here. They're very, very good hills. I think Bryn Brith is probably the one that's slightly more remoter than Cefn-hir, but Cefn-hir has a good substantial pointed rock on the top, which is you can stand on top with a little bit of difficulty. I managed it, but almost wobbled over. And as a summit, it's probably the one that is currently not the Sub-Marilyn, which is the better of the two. But they're both very good hills. I'll leave you with that view. We're now down at the bwlch by the outflow of the lake as it crosses the minor road. And John has just switched the equipment on.
If you come on the side, you can see the flashing lights.
So we have to try to keep underneath the antenna. Here's all the little LEDs, they all mean something.
So we're just waiting for an orange light to come on in the middle to show it's picking up satellites. It's all geared up, but it's not picking up the satellites yet.
And that'll turn orange, won't it, when,
Yeah.
when it does. And you've got the summit of Cefn-hir in the background. Oh, oh! Ah. Certainly, yes, we've certainly had the best of the day, haven't we?
Get back any more, Merlin.
Thank you. Was that the staff?
It was the level.
Yeah. Anything behind me now?
No,
Cheers.
other than a great big hole. Sheep food.
So, folks, still daylight with us.
Just about.
Yeah. So, what's the plan? Sort of half an hour here.
Yeah, I think so, Merlin. Since darkness is descending upon us, we'll get half an hour's worth of data, by which time it'll be pretty murky. And then we'll make our way home, and we need to come then and do a proper job on the coal another day.
And we've just taken a spread of readings, actually, to the base of the outflow, haven't we?
Yes, the bed isn't absolutely level because you've got a lot of stones and that in there, so we've taken 10 readings, and I was keeping my fingers crossed you might fall in, but sadly you didn't. So we did get our 10 readings and kept dry in the process. Yeah.
And the reason for doing that?
Well, really to get a feel for the variation in depth of the bed of the stream come lake just at that point, so that we can get a feel for the error in the final measurement that we make.
And by gathering half an hour today, it will save time next time we come down here, won't it?
It'll save time next time we come, yes. It'll enable us to concentrate on the far side where that other stream is, and further over here. And if they show any doubt that they are the coals and that this should be the one to go for, we can always come back here and get more data if we wish. But this is just going to give us a feel, really,
Yeah.
And help us to plan the next trip to finish the job.
Well, cheers, Graham. I'm going to come around this side so I can get the equipment in the background. Just come to John to wrap it all up and give final comments if he'd be good enough. So,
Yes, it's been a good day. A little bit more complicated than we thought at the very beginning when we first set off, but we'll have some idea of the height of the coal this evening, but clearly we've got a good day's work on a nice day sometime in the near future. I hope we can wrap this one up.
and it will be a very interesting one.
It's going to be an interesting
John.
one. Everything is very close, everything.
Because as well
Yeah.
as a possible summit relocation, it's also a possible...
Possible change of status, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, cheers, both, anyway.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you very
I think
much.
Just add to that, Merlin.
Yep.
I think this is probably going to be one of the most complicated surveys we've undertaken. Actually, I'm trying to think of. There have been some complicated ones, but I think this must rank pretty well near the top, mustn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised at all, because you've got two summit...
Yeah.
well, actually three, because
Three,
there's an
we've
intermediary
eliminated
summit
one,
on.
so
Yeah.
that's fairly clear. We've got two that are very close, and we're pretty sure that the first summit that you got, that you can see in the background, is the one that is actually the higher by a few centimetres, but we need to prove that. So we've achieved quite a lot today, but then you've got all this work to do around the lake and further over where there are these potential coals. So it's been, with 3 potential summits and about 5 potential coals, it is quite a complicated survey.
And even Bryn Brith had 2 possible summit positions, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean they were only it was 8 centimetres apart. I'm trying to remember.
6 or 7 or something,
Yeah,
but
very, very,
yeah, pretty close.
7.6. That was it. Yeah, very close. Very close. So it has been quite an exacting day's surveying, actually.
Yeah, been good there.
Very good, yeah, and a perfect day for it.
Yeah.
Good excuse to get out in the hills and do some nice hills. It was good also to see those parties of youngsters being introduced to the mountain environment, I thought.
Yeah.
And they got some good teachers with them.
Yeah.
That bodes well for the future.
Yeah, well, good stuff. Well, cheers both.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And I'll leave the viewers with a view of the GS15 Professional and its little coloured LEDs. Those are little coloured lights. And you have the summit of Cadair Cefn-hir here in the background. Or is it Cefn-hir?
Difficult one.
It is a difficult one, isn't it, when you can't speak Welsh. So I'll leave you with that view.
Okay, so we've surveyed Bryn Brith and Cefn-hir, and here are the results for those surveys. Both Cefn-hir and Bryn Brith have OS spot heights of 383 metres, but Bryn Brith is accepted as the Sub-Marilyn at the moment. So our results for the GPS survey were: the summit of Cefn-hir was 383.04, and the summit of Bryn Brith was 382.94. Very close, but Cefn-hir is clearly 10 centimetres higher than Bryn Brith. So that means that the position of the Sub-Marilyn has changed to Cefn-hir. Then we went down to the Col, and the western Col at the side of the lake, and we measured that. On the map, that is a height of 234 metres, and we measured it to be 233.63 metres. So from that particular col, the drop is a little bit less than 150 metres, but it doesn't rule out that Cefn-hir is not a Marilyn. We have several other cols to survey, which we'll have to do on another day.